cannon has gone. The hooters, the horns, the salute. Day 312, about 25 past 3 on April the 22nd, and Robin Knox-Johnston have sailed non-stop around the world.
In 1969, Britain ruled the waves when Sir Robin Knox-Johnston became the first person to sail single-handed and non-stop around the world.
I'm a little bit overwhelmed by the reception.
Since then, Britain has continuously lagged behind the French in solo, non-stop, round-the-world yacht racing. One of our most celebrated solo sailors in recent years is Ellen MacArthur, who achieved second place in the Vendée Globe, the world's toughest sporting race bar none. She, of course, came second to a Frenchman. But now there is some hope. We have an academy to rival the French system. After a nationwide search for the UK's most ambitious and talented sailors, just 16 have made the grade and are here to compete for a place at this prestigious sailing academy, with the hope of becoming the next Vendée Globe winner. Of these 16, only 3 will be chosen.
This Offshore Academy is the first time there's been a place and a programme for British sailors to develop their solo sailing skills.
This academy is such a good path right to the elite of sailing.
In only 52 hours, 3 of these sailors will be celebrating with a place on the UK's premier offshore sailing academy, getting access to a structured training programme and unlimited knowledge and expertise. Some of those fighting for a place are 20-year-old self-employed Henry, 19-year-old round-the-world sailor Mike, 22-year-old sailmaker Aaron, and 21-year-old student Lizzie.
I'm currently studying speech and language therapy at the University of Reading. I'm in my final year of 4 years. Well, I first got into sailing really as a little kid. I used to go out with my mum in a topper. Yeah, and then sort of started racing at about 14. I am pretty passionate about sailing. I just love how varied the sport is. There's so many different aspects to it. Obviously, Ellen MacArthur is quite a big influence. Growing up, seeing what she's done, and she's so tough. And then sort of Dee Kafari as well. I think she's supposed to be coming out onto the trials, so if I can meet her, that'd be pretty cool.
I've been invited to join the academy as a guest judge, and I'm looking for something really special.
Somebody said there'd be some prospective sailors here. Hi, I'm Dee.
These guys are desperate to represent their country in the Vendée Globe and put Britain back on top of the world's sailing elite. I took part in the Vendée Globe in 2009 and came 6th. It is the only solo, non-stop, round-the-world yacht race. Offshore sailing is something that's very close to my heart, and I'm honoured to be the only woman to have sailed both ways round the world, and the only woman to have ever sailed 3 non-stop circumnavigations. Sailing around the world for sailors is the pinnacle. It's like the Everest for mountaineers. It's like the pole for polar explorers. It is the ultimate test, and that's why I love it. It's that challenge, the privilege of living in that environment, pushing my boundaries, testing myself, and just being out there with nature and no one else to help me. Until now, there hasn't been a place where prospective offshore sailors can go and learn the craft. I did it the hard way. But now the Academy is there to change the UK's fortune in offshore solo sailing. First up, we're going to put the candidates through a series of activities at height. We're looking to test their mental toughness to see if they can overcome fear and think through tasks under pressure. Sailing around the world solo is really difficult. We're looking for the complete package.
You need to be a combination of so many different things, and then also when it all goes wrong, you've got to be able to deal with that too.
You also have to deal with heights, because at some point you're going to have to go up your rig. something that I still find challenging.
The competition is immense. It's one of the hardest competitions because everyone here is very hungry.
Shame we don't get another go.
0 points for that effort.
I think everybody's here to push themselves, and I don't think anybody's here to just along for the ride. It's a pretty serious selection process.
Everyone's really motivated, they're all really physically fit.
The candidates can all sail well, but some have had more offshore sailing experience than others.
Got it! Yeah. I'm pleased we got it.
On the 27th of August 2009, at just 17 years old, Mike Perham became the youngest person to sail single-handed around the globe. Mike is now 19 years old and dreams of competing in a Vendée Globe campaign.
This academy is such a good path right to the elite of sailing, and that's where I want to be, essentially.
With the psychological tests over, it's now time to test their fitness. Dr. Cunningham has trained Olympic sailors for the past 20 years and he knows exactly what he's looking for.
There has to be really the all-round package. They have to have some aerobic fitness so they can recover. They need some strength so they can actually lift the heavy stuff around.
They're not going easy on us, that's for sure. I mean, this is, high caliber sailing. You need to be at the top of your game in fitness.
Solo sailing is very physical. For my Vendée campaign, I trained non-stop for 18 months.
Completely underestimated how hard it was after all the rowing and stuff.
The bleep test is a great test of stamina and Robin has pushed himself the hardest.
I've always wanted to do this. It's been my dream to go and do like Vendée and stuff. It's a perfect opportunity, so I might as well give it all now and see how it goes, really.
Okay, next project is about time management and personal management. And you will, in essence, be building a boat in your pairs that you will then end up sailing it. This task could take you all night. The candidates arrive at Weymouth and Portland National Sailing Academy. They're home for the next 2 days.
We've got the access to this building all night. And your judging will be at 8 o'clock sharp tomorrow. And here are the materials from which you've got to make your boat.
Practical skills are vital. During a solo ocean race, the skipper must be a master of all trades because in 3 months at sea, things do go wrong. Building a boat using just wood, wire and glue is the perfect test.
This is a lot thinner than we were expecting.
I think it's probably one of those tasks where you can overcomplicate things. Jay's got quite a lot of experience building. I've done little bits and pieces. I think we're going to try and go with a simple idea and just execute it really well.
The boat building continues well into the night, and no one is quite sure what will emerge from the warehouse. How much sleep did you get last night?
5 hours in the end.
Really good time management, so you're firing on all cylinders for today.
Yeah, feeling good.
The workboat, boys. You've gone for beam. You wanted stability, Ollie?
Safety first.
Safety first.
Yeah.
I think this is good. I won't be mean. I think this is a combination of the first two boats we've seen together. It's got nice shape.
I don't think either of us has done anything like this before, so it's nice to do something from concept to finish.
The problem with this boat is there's a few little holes in the bottom, so it's more of a sieve design.
I think it'll float, which is good. This is kind of like the Maverick of the fleet.
After a quick lick of paint, these boats are ready for the water.
Go!
Aaron and Henry breeze around the course and power through to the end. Luke and Matt are hot on their tail. Sadly, Mike and Robin are still struggling to get to the first mark.
Not good.
The others take pity and launch the rescue boat. With so much at stake, they soldier on, determined to finish the course.
Well done. That was hugely entertaining and absolutely stunning effort by all.
I'd like to present you with your champagne.
Really, really tough, but we finished, you know, and that's the main thing.
I thought it was going to be really heavy and sink, but it was all right in the end.
I'm really happy that we got a good result and that the boat stayed together and stayed afloat.
Aaron is no stranger to little wooden boats. At 6 years old, he sold all of his toys at a car boot sale to buy one.
I work repairing new sails, servicing them, building new sails. I chose to work here because it's kind of what I've always done. I've always been in and around sailing, and that's what interests me. I couldn't ever see myself sat in an office, sat behind a computer.
Aaron has definitely lived and breathed sailing for the whole of his life. When he was about 15, he broke his arm at school. It was diagnosed as a sprain, and he sailed the whole of an inland series with his arm not in a cast.
It meant a lot to me if I got selected for the academy. Yeah, the end goal is to essentially make a career out of sailing. Yeah, just to do this all my life would be amazing.
So far, the candidates have been subjected to a series of testing activities, but the trials are far from over. These 16 candidates are fighting for one of the 3 coveted places at the UK's most prestigious offshore sailing academy. It's finally time for the candidates to show what they can do in a real boat. I introduced them to the Academy's fleet of Figaro racing yachts. The Figaro boat is a really simple setup. It's about 30 feet, happily sailed single-handed, but also happily sailed with a crew of 5 or more.
OK, Mike, you've been around the world. Your boat was bigger. How does this boat compare?
So a lot smaller, but as this is a one-design boat, you know, you really have to get the most out of every little part.
Feeling a bit nervous about the competition around you?
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of great guys around.
It's been nice to get out on a boat I haven't sailed before and try and put some of the skills I've learned on other boats to practice.
The candidates are given just 1 hour to get used to the Figaros before racing each other. But first they must tuck into their rations.
Looks delicious.
I've never eaten so well in my life.
This is the kind of food we'll be eating offshore, you know, when we're sailing. And if we can't hack it now, we definitely can't hack it when we're out sailing. So you just kind of gotta grin and bear it.
It tastes interesting.
It tastes absolutely awful, but you know, these are the sort of stuff you have to eat offshore.
Freeze-dried food is an acquired taste, but Henry is still feeling energetic.
I got up at 10 to 7, so got about just under 3 hours sleep. Which is quite good. Feel pretty refreshed. Had some races this morning and got a few more after we've had a bite to eat, so looking forward to the rest of the day.
These boats are all identical, one design, which means no one has an advantage during the race. It's all down to the sailor. Scrutinising the candidates is former world champion sailor Mike Hart.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Single-handed sailing is very tricky. Actually having to do everything on your own requires a lot of competence.
Very good sailors, but as soon as they're put under pressure by going single-handed, then a lot of issues start arising, they start making mistakes, they don't look ahead, they don't plan, they don't prioritise.
Aaron manages to steal the first win of the day.
Awesome, yeah. First solo race, first win. Good to get some under the belt.
But it didn't go as well for Mike.
It could have gone a lot better, really. Just didn't have the boat speed at the start. Thought my manoeuvres were okay, but this one wasn't.
Henry works hard and wins the next race.
It's good to get quite a good win in single-handed for sure. So.
But not everyone is as pleased with their performance.
Rubbish. Fairly unimpressed with myself.
It was really good. Well, it was good from our point of view anyway, because it was so close. Lots of changes of position, no clear outright sort of dominant boat. I've got a book full of notes, which we'll go through later on.
All 16 candidates are desperate to achieve a place in the Academy, a place that may lead them to take part in the world's toughest sporting race bar none, the Vendée Globe. 20 years ago, Frenchman Philippe Jonteau, after twice winning a global yacht race, needed a new challenge, a harder challenge. The Vendée Globe was born. "26,000 miles of non-stop unassisted sailing, 3 months of solitude." It is the ultimate in ocean racing and has run every 4 years since 1992. But it's not for the faint-hearted. This is one of the most dangerous races in the world. Early morning in Weymouth, and the candidates are about to get a rude awakening.
I'm excited. This is quite cool. They have no idea this is happening.
Wake up! Wake up!
Your boat is sinking, you've hit a rock.
Abandon ship!
Come on, up you get!
Everyone was fast asleep after having slept for an average of just 6 hours over the past 2 days. No matter what time in the morning, survival training is essential for all offshore solo sailors. An emergency can happen at any time, day or night.
Oh, what a lovely wake-up call. Got this inside out, Mike? Yes.
No, they look like Smurfs. Oh no, the blue ones are shocking.
Just 10 minutes ago, these guys were fast asleep and are now fully equipped to abandon ship.
1, 2, 3, let's go. Abandon ship.
Leaving your boat and launching a life raft is every sailor's worst nightmare, especially if you're alone. During an ocean race in 2006, British sailor Alex Thompson had to do just that. But thankfully, another British sailor, Mike Golding, was there to pick him up. Hopefully, these sailors will never have to experience that. But preparing for the worst is vital.
Kind of twigged when they said, here's a survivor suit, no mobile phones. It's like, oh, we're going in, aren't we?
I think we handled it reasonably well.
Dry.
It was good, it was quite fun. The suit's surprisingly warm.
Wasn't too bad, but still quite a sharp wake-up call for us all, I think.
With survival training over, it's time for the final hurdle, the interview.
Okay, so we haven't got long. It's only a swift 10-minute interview, but it's an opportunity for you to talk to us on an individual basis. Why should we give you a place in this year's Academy?
I feel my sailing career so far has taken me to all different corners of sailing. I took a long time to think about what I wanted to get out of this, and if this was the route that I wanted to go down, what my dream goal out of this would be. And I still think it's got to be the Vendée.
I feel since last year I have gone away and done a lot more kind of all-round sailing, which I think will help towards the single-handed kind of discipline. This is the second time I've come to the selection trials. I came last year, felt a lot fresher through this trial, so managed to perform a bit better on all the other tasks. So all in all a bit better, but we'll just have to wait and see.
You like him, don't you?
There was some absolutely really silly mistakes.
Wise beyond his years.
He does need to gain experience in terms of racing.
I'm determined. I've shown that throughout my sailing career. I know where I want to be. I do want to go to the Vendée Globe. I want to do it, and it's a key priority of mine. It'd mean everything to be selected for the Academy. It'd be a dream.
Thoughts, everyone?
He's given people a leg up where they needed it.
I certainly liked his sailing yesterday.
You can tell he's tired.
I've amassed quite a lot of sea time, so I've learnt
just what works for me and what doesn't work for me. I'm very hungry for a place in the academy. The opportunity and to go out sailing and train with the best of the best would be so fantastic.
Well, that's the last of the 16 that we've seen now. What are your thoughts, folks?
It's a big choice now, big decisions, and it's not easy. Tough selection.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of different skill sets from the group. We really need to go back through these and see who's the most likely to make it in the future.
So I think we'll have our work cut out this afternoon.
The squad has been selected and get together at the home of the Offshore Academy on the Isle of Wight. The Academy have chosen sailmaker Aaron, self-employed Henry and freelance yacht skipper Ollie.
I now feel like I'm one step closer to my dream of being a solo offshore sailor. I think my family are really proud of how far I've got already, and I think they'll be even happier if I can make that dream come true.
I'm delighted to get in this time. I mean, obviously I went for selection last year, so to be selected is fantastic to know that a year's work that I've put into it and a goal's been achieved.
Yeah, I'm still very determined to aim for the Vendée Globe in a few years' time, and hopefully the Figaro is a good stepping stone towards that.
These three are now off to train in the south of France during the winter on the Figaro boats, the first step on the road to the Vendée Globe. Because the standard was so high, the Academy has also selected Robin, Lizzie, Robert and Sam for a part-time programme that will allow them to continue their studies.
When I found out I'd made it to the selections, I was pretty surprised. I wasn't even expecting to get that far. So when I got the phone call saying I'd actually been offered a place, I was like, oh, okay, bloody hell.
It's what I've been aiming for years now. So it's nice to actually be able to get part of a team that could potentially fulfil my dreams.
It was a really tough selection process, and those that weren't successful, I'm sure, will be back next year to try again. This is the start of an exciting journey for these young sailors, a journey which will hopefully lead them to their own Vendée Globe campaign.